Because you evolve as fast as you want to or as slow as you want to. It's a choice. And you have to make that choice. If you don't make that choice, you're just going to stay right where you are.
You guys can explain some of this to Al later on, okay? Because we're...
All of your suffering and affliction, all of your results come from going through life as you think you are rather than who you really are.
There was a quote the other day that somebody gave me. It says, "You are today what you are because of your thoughts. You will be tomorrow also." Okay.
Like if you think of good things, do you notice you see more of the good in things? But if you think of the bad things, it's like a lot of bad things, happen. It's because you're thinking.
Well, Richard, and then this is a good thing about, and we'll talk with Richard, and Richard, you can talk to Richard during breaks and so forth. Richard's done some training on energy, and he can share those with you at breaks. But one of the things that he's been exposed to is think happy thoughts all the time. Think happy thoughts all the time, and everything will be great. Okay? Well, that's a little difficult to do, right? Because the world is not a happy place all the time. And you're bordering on delusion. Yes, Chris. I'm going to walk around a little bit.
So you're going to tell me, for example, that the people that Virginia Tech got up that morning and said, "Oh, I'm going to get shot today."
No.
No.
No. No. And the guy that got up and shot him didn't know who he was going to shoot either. But he knew he was going to shoot somebody.
He shot 33.
All right. All right.
No, he killed 33. He shot more than that.
Yeah. and so there's things that you aren't going to have any control over. Right? You are going to have control over your thoughts.
You can't control what someone else does, but you can control how you react to it.
Okay.
And often...
I will make the statement that of those 33 people that died, that number 2 through 33 could have reacted differently. That means that when you go buffalo hunting and you shoot the head buffalo, the rest of them just stand around and get slaughtered. But if you miss the head buffalo, the rest of them take off and run. Okay?
Now, we don't have all the intel.
What's your point here?
My point is that when the first one got killed in front of you, and you stood there and did nothing and did not react, you could have reacted.
There are several things
differently
that most people freeze like a deer in the headlights when shooting happens. Okay, I also come from a martial arts and tactical training background. Most people freeze and freeze up and they're mowed down like deer in the headlights. Okay, as opposed to what? Dropping flat like they're already dead. That would have been a solution. Drop. Okay, and I've trained that when they brought kids to our academy one time. I taught them to drop and help flat as paper. That can help. How about attacking the attacker? How about throwing a chair? Okay. How about, you notice the ones who took down the 9/11
Flight 51.
You notice that they simply had box cutters, but were able to hold 30 people in fear to their deaths. Mm-hmm. See? And in colleges, you get peer-dependent, status-conscious consumers, essential-oriented, okay, thinking that happiness is pleasure, when happiness is not pleasure. Happiness is victory. So when you get someone who's done this kind of training and who thinks tactically and thinks in terms of victory, when I hear a gunshot, I don't freeze up and panic. Okay, I move.
Okay? Chris, for you to go, there's several books out there that are excellent on survival. And they've done a bunch of studies on the people who survived catastrophes, whether it be plane crashes or dam breaks or earthquakes or anything else. and they go look at the survivors. And it's really amazing the difference in those that survived and what their mental makeup was.
Why would you ask that question, Chris? Were you trying to challenge the idea of positive thinking? Of course, we're not. That's like a white belt. We're talking more brown belt, black belt. But simple, mere positive thinking.
Yeah.
Obviously, you can run your head into the wall over and over. You know, it's way beyond that. We're just starting. That's point one of 30.
Positive thinking is positive thinking is a bunch of crap. Okay.
Well, that's what, or you're just
Okay.
trying to give me the secret, I'm not denying.
That's what I'm saying. Some of the stuff that Richard's been, you can talk to him during breaks and so forth, is to run around and say, think happy thoughts, and then you're putting out the right kind of energy.
Happy thoughts. There are things that will happen that you never think are possibly going to happen.
And that's life.
That's life.
You will even get mastery keys to be able to handle those in the most optimum way. I mean, why is it that two children are born in poverty, in the ghetto, and high crime, and one becomes Secretary of State, okay, and the other becomes a career criminal and dies young? Same circumstances. I mean, you always have that. You have survivors, you have those who rise up, and those who stay down. Knowing that it's possible to choose.
Go back to the kid. Let's go back to the kid. Let's go back to the teachers today. All right? The kid's sitting in class and he's daydreaming. The teacher goes over and says, if you keep daydreaming, you'll never amount to anything. And by the way, it's only the dreamers that have created anything. And so they're actually stifling the very thing, okay, by telling them that if they keep daydreaming, they'll never amount to anything. And they believe it. Or you take it even stronger.
Except for Einstein. He didn't believe
it. Yeah.
But we don't want you to think positively. We want you to think purposefully and powerfully, okay, with intention.
So there is a degree of your destiny that you have control over. So if you think that you don't have any control over your destiny, then that's what we want to change. Okay? If you think that you're on automatic and your life is being guided by forces outside of you, that's what we need to change. Can we change that, Chris?
I'd love to change it.
Okay. All right. How are we going to do that?
I really don't know.
Okay. If I knew and told you, would you accept it?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to tell me stuff I've already been told before?
No, I want you to experience some stuff.
I'd love to experience some stuff.
Okay. Then that's what we want to do. That's the reason we call this a workshop and not a seminar and not a lecture. Because we're going to be doing stuff. As I told you, we're going to give you 2 exercises to do. One in the morning, one in the evening. Okay? And I want you to do them.